Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappala, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
Hi, Tom. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
What are you
nice
crying
to be
about?
with you.
What are you crying about?
Because this is a new era in the Great American Collectibles Show.
Off to a good start, by the way.
It is, yeah.
Behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, a lot happening. So.
All right, welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappala, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. We've got a great show. You know why we have a great show today?
Why?
Because we are now officially on neutral footing.
Neutral footing. Okay.
We are broadcasting from Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page, and soon there's going to be another major announcement about another neutral platform that has a tremendous amount of views, listeners. Obviously, we're still on the radio, WCAP. You can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, Alexa, YouTube, all that other stuff.
Well, you and Ellen have done a fabulous job with this show and, of course, your books. Not to suck up to you, because I'm not looking for a raise, unless you want to give it. No, but seriously, done a great job, and we have great guests as always.
Yeah, no, we're excited.
sucking up.
We really are excited. This is the beginning of a new era. But before we bring in, we're going to bring him in right now, our good friend Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions. And really, this is going to be fun. Vice President of JSA, Jimmy Spence. How are you, boys?
Hey, Jimmy, Derek.
Good.
Had fun
Well.
talking a little before the show. These guys are really
These guys are the
outstanding.
pros. All right, but before we do that, our headlines, these are just some odds and ends
I
headlines
noticed that.
from
I
Rich
see.
Miller.
Very odd.
Okay, well, just as some little notes.
Yeah.
Over 7,000 cards of NBA Finals MVP Nikola Jokic have sold on eBay alone since June 1st for a total of over $800,000.
Wow.
The top-selling card was the one-of-one 2021-2022 Flawless Logo Man, which netted $21,500. Here's another one. A 1958 double-signed Sandy Koufax glove purported to be the first mitt utilized by the Hall of Fame pitcher in L.A., fetched a record $180,000. Wednesday night in the Memorabilia Network's Greats of the Game auction. Here's another one. A brand vending out of Phoenix says it has created a new state-of-the-art vending machine for trading cards. The machine is 66 inches high, 18 inches wide, with sports for a few different types of packs. It has a contactless card reader for credit cards and also offers Google Pay and Apple Pay. A 10-inch LCD video screen comes preloaded with card content. You can walk up.
That's interesting.
Did you ever buy?
Is it weird?
Did
No.
you ever buy cards out of a vending machine when you were a kid?
No.
Right?
I don't think they had vending machines.
Exactly. All right. So for more information, obviously you can go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. That's where you can get all your great
By the way,
hobby
I
news.
did a signing for the Red Sox a couple of weeks ago, and in this across the street from the stadium, from the park, is a memorabilia. You can buy stuff. And this room, they had all cards, baseball cards, but
That's
they're
the old
all
Yawkey.
Red Sox.
That's the old Yawkey store, right?
Yeah, they're selling them, and modern, mostly modern, but some, Williams and Yastrzemski and them. But I said, wow, this is interesting. It's the first time I've been in there. So I guess not everybody, but there's a lot of companies selling cards.
All right, let's get going here. Rico and I are thrilled to see you guys. Jimmy, I'm going to ask both you guys. Derek, you first. Do you guys use JSA much? Derek?
We have gone all over the place with Heritage. We've had used JSA, and then PSA for a variety of reasons. JSA focuses on autographs, and we do bats, cards, a ton of cards, and autographs, a little bit of everything. The packs, we do so many things with PSA. It just made sense for us to have a relationship with them on it. But we've used JSA in the past, so
Yeah,
to answer your
that's
question candidly.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
years ago, of course, so I never collected as a kid, not as a kid, but as a player with the Red Sox. But always wondered when did this start? When did the authentications start, and why?
Jimmy, you can answer that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Authentication started professionally in 1999, and my father started it, James Spence Jr. He was a dealer since the early 80s, primarily selling autographs, and he built up a great reputation in knowing, what a secretarial version of Roberto Clemente is. Everybody knows the Phil Dorsey secretarials. His limo driver used to sign for him. And he continued to build an exemplar file and a reputation throughout the shows throughout the Northeast and even on the West Coast. And it became almost overwhelming with the amount of dealers in the room coming to his table asking him for his opinion. So he was approached by our now competitor that Derek just spoke about to launch signature authentication. They already had card grading and coin grading and stamp grading. And as autographs became more popular and the curiosity of whether something is fake or real, I mean, you're basically buying an autograph based on the reputation of the dealer. So there needed to be some kind of police that determined, what was a real Babe Ruth, what was a real Mickey Mantle, because, after the late 90s, there were tons of forgeries coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marino scandal out of Southern California, that's just to name one of the giant ones that there was a Netflix special or an HBO special on that and how prolific that was. So, yeah, it started professionally in 1999. We launched JSA in 2005.
Oh, great.
So doesn't a lot of the blame, though, I mean, can't you put it on the guys like Mickey Mantle's shoulders and Babe Ruth's shoulders? I mean, percentage-wise, what percentage of those autographs were secretarial that they actually handed off to Clubhouse boys? And didn't Ted do the same thing, Rico?
Yes.
Right? What percentage of those, Jimmy?
Depends on the year. In 1960 and 61, 62, there was a guy by the name of Pete Prevalent. I don't know if that name rings a bell, Rico, but he would sign religiously for Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris as well. So you have a team signed baseball, the Yankees in 61, and it was very, very popular for the entire team to sign that baseball. But every time they try to get a hold of Mantle or Maris during that period of time, it was very difficult. So Pete Prevalent would fill in the blanks, and that happened quite frequently in the Brooklyn Dodger organization. There was a guy by the name of Charlie DiGiovanna who used to sign for every player. I mean, there wasn't one signature on there that he didn't sign for. And a lot of the 55 Brooklyn Dodger balls that come in that are submitted are completely Clubhouse. And he was very, very talented at this. In fact, Duke Snyder in his autobiography spoke about this guy, Charlie DiGiovanna. He was an adult bat boy. He used to call him the Brow because he had a unibrow. And he was so talented that Duke said in his autobiography that Charlie used to be able to sign his name better than he could. So we compile different autographs and we put them all in chronological order. And that's essentially how we authenticate based on the era, because everybody's autograph changes over time. So you have to compare, okay, this is a 55 Brooklyn Dodger and I'm looking at a Jackie Robinson autograph. I have to look at 55 examples. I can't look at stuff where he signed in his minor league days in Montreal or towards his death in the 70s. You really have to concentrate on the evolution and the era of that signature.
Yeah. I want to ask Derek about him. Well, Heritage taking a card. Let's say it has to be authenticated, right? I mean, you don't or you can't take it.
Well, I'm a professional card grader, so it's very easy for me taking in a consignment to reject the cards. I won't even take them in.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it's tricky is, so I can give you a couple stories here. One, I can tell you when I first met Jimmy, Jimmy here, his dad, and let me just say, so what Jimmy said was 100% accurate, even though he was probably a baby at that time. Whenever I was going to shows, buying autographs, I get out of college. I had a card store in 1990, 1991. But then when I started collecting myself, I would go to shows and buy autographs, and people would say, Jimmy would set up with his autographs, and either, you're going to buy from Jimmy or you're going to buy from somebody else and show it to Jimmy. That's what everybody did. You'd go show it to Jimmy. So I went to Orwigsburg, PA. Probably, Jimmy, is that the house you grew up in?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went there. I don't remember seeing you. That it was a long time ago. And I bought my first Jackie Robinson check, my Vince Lombardi check, my Red Grange 3x5, a Nagurski check. I still have that stuff, and I still have the receipt, I believe, from buying that from your dad. So I drove to Orwigsburg to go get stuff directly. And I think that was, say, 90, 96. So Jimmy, so that was the narrative on the show floor. You would show stuff to Jimmy Spence, and he would, and I don't even think it was easy for him to give an opinion because the dealer's in the room. Okay. So you're buying from another dealer, and the dealer might have something bad, and Jimmy would just be like, pass, and, that can cause some controversy there between dealers in the room. So I don't know that it was necessarily a popular thing to do, but, Jimmy's dad was the one that was, starting to police it early on, and he was the go-to guy at the show. So now to Rico's question. So one of my first consignment trips at Heritage was I sent an email to Boston, and I had so many appointments for Heritage that I had to do it out of my hotel room. A guy shows up with a Babe Ruth ball that his father had left him. Now, this is an old timer. And he shows it to me, and I knew right away that was the nurse that signed it. He pulled out a newspaper article saying that he got one of the last autographs of Babe Ruth in the hospital.
That's terrible. That's too bad.
Okay. His father got this autograph for him. Now this guy's in his 70s, and he brings it to me to consign, and I said, that's great, you have the newspaper article. That's secretarial. Now, I'm no authority on autographs. And this guy was ready to fight me in the room because I'm telling him this family heirloom was signed by the nurse. And he's showing me a newspaper article saying it's a real autograph, and it was one of Babe Ruth's last ones. And it's passed down from generations. Yeah. And I think I begrudgingly took it just to get him out of my room and told him it's going to get rejected and we're going to be mailing it back. And that's what we did. But I had to get him out of my room.
Unbelievable.
And this is what's happened. You have people put away stuff for decades to pull it out, to use the money for college or use the money for a wedding or use the money for whatever. And they have a 55 Brooklyn Dodger championship ball. And to Jimmy's point here, it could be totally Clubhouse. And this is some family heirloom that was passed down, and they are swearing that their mother got it, their grandmother got it, their grandfather. It's
kind of sad
but
Jimmy, has that ever happened?
The importance of authentication.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have a lot of collectors, listening and watching, and so if you got something,
you got to have it done.
Got to have it done. Really.
Jimmy, do you have a sad story like that? Have you ever had to, face someone and say, something? It's just
probably all the time.
I mean, but something that sticks out.
Yeah, no, I mean, what Derek explained happens on a very regular basis, especially when I was traveling a lot. I used to go to every major city throughout the country and into Canada, and these stories are everywhere because Babe Ruth used to travel everywhere.
Yeah,
and many people met Babe Ruth, and there's many different examples, not just with Babe Ruth, but Jackie Robinson, Roberto Clemente, you name it, Ted Williams. And I've had people cry, that, my father lied to me, my grandfather lied to me. It's like, well, maybe they really didn't know what they had, because stories change over time. They're passed along, and, and sometimes when you're telling your grandkid a story, you have to elaborate, you have to make it exciting. And sometimes, those stories where, you buy a team signed baseball from Fenway Park, and it ends up being a completely stamped baseball that was manufactured in High Point, North Carolina, from the Autograph Baseball Company. There's people that hold on to this for decades and bring it to us and say, this has been in my family for years. I'm planning on doing a renovation in my bathroom. This is going to pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're faced with, listen, you have a baseball that wasn't touched by a steel tip fountain pen. This was entirely manufactured, and here's why. And some people take it. Some people don't want to believe you. Some people tell you you're full of crap.
Yeah, that's going to be a crusher.
Imagine a Babe Ruth ball with some half, a mediocre player on it.
All right, Jimmy. Here's actually. Wait a second.
Derek knows, but
they're the ones that authenticated it.
How do you know it was authenticated?
Because it came with. We saw the paperwork.
You're kidding.
No, Jimmy. This is a very funny story.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's a riot.
Sad. The poor guy's sick.
We have.
Not Jimmy,
Rico was approached. You tell him.
No.
Rico was approached. How many years ago?
A few years back.
A guy walks up to Rico Petrocelli with a signed Babe Ruth ball.
I was his favorite.
Rico happened to be the guy's favorite player. What do you think the guy does? Asks Rico to sign it also. So there is, and you guys authenticated it. I'm pretty sure there is one ball out there signed by both Rico Petrocelli and Babe Ruth that was authenticated.
Babe is rolling
just the two of you guys?
Yeah.
Imagine this. I told the guy, I says, "What? Are you crazy? If this is
so you can remove the Rico signature, and JSA will say there's a removal on it, but it's a Babe Ruth ball with a removal.
We can do that. Yeah,
I'm going to buy the baseball.
The Babe is rolling over in his grave. He said, "Who's this guy, Petrocelli? Get out of here."
We are chatting with Jimmy Spence from JSA and our good friend Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions. All right, I'm going to ask you guys both a question. Derek, we've asked you this many times. I'm going to ask Jimmy first. Jimmy, obviously the hobby is changing dramatically. Is it changing for the good or is it changing for the bad?
I think it's changing for the good. We're starting to do a lot more international travel. I know I was talking to Derek about this. I was flying to like Kuwait right before I saw Derek the last time. And, we're doing a lot more business in the Middle East. Middle Easterns are starting to pick up on signatures and collectibles. And I just got back from London. The collectible craze is very popular out there, whether it's signatures or trading cards, you name it. So I'm starting to see more of a younger crowd come in. And it's pretty exciting stuff, just to see this industry that I once knew that I thought we were just in this tiny little bubble where you'd go to sports shows and you'd see the same people, the same customers over and over and over again. Now, Derek, when we go to the National, it's hard to find somebody that I mean, there's so many people there, so many new faces, that this industry is exploding.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It is. It's a great industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you guys before, we used to talk about trade shows as you'd see the same people all the time at the same trade shows. Sunday, you could roll a ball down the aisle and not hit anybody. And it was and I kept saying, like Jimmy said, we're in a bubble, but we're really a cool hobby. And I didn't know what it would take. I am in shock that it took a pandemic to make people, when they sat at home, to go on eBay, because, the card, everything was closed. And they went to their basements and they found their collectibles and they embraced authentication and graded cards. And I mean, the hobby's on another level. And even with so then you think, well, now a lot of people got killed in the modern market because a lot of these people came in and the modern market has crashed because it went up so high. So everybody's making money in a bull market. Everybody's the smartest guy in the room. Then it crashes. The shows are still packed.
Yeah.
The people are still collecting like mad. They're embracing like Jimmy said, it's now more international. We have a ton of international clients. They're embracing authentication, which is huge that they're embracing authentication, because in the 70s and 80s, it was the freaking Wild West. Whether it was game used, whether it was trimmed and altered cards, whether it was autographs on people's tables, you could not just go buy a Babe Ruth signature on somebody's table. I mean, you're less than 50% that it's going to be good.
All right, listen, Jimmy, I got a question for you. We're going to take a break. Do you want to stick around for another segment with us, or are you in a rush?
I just have to leave at 12. So I'm good for the next 20 minutes.
Good. Yeah.
If
So
that works for you guys.
Derek, you don't mind, right? Because we like Jimmy.
Why would I mind?
I know.
We're friends.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick
Good.
break. Jimmy Spence from JSA is here. Derek is here. We're gonna bring in Lee Behrens. But then when we come back, it's On Deck with Rico. I am so excited.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autographed ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectibles in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectibles has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectibles, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Even though he's from New York, we still love him. On Deck with Rico Petrocelli.
Okay, it is time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to you by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to RobertEdwardAuctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
Well,
this question was submitted by one of our regular followers, a great supporter of the show, Michael Veriali, Music Mike from Long Island. Very good question. But the only problem is the biggest T-shirt I have is a XL. He's going to be like a triple XL. What do I do?
Well, we'll tear it and
then resew it?
Yeah,
All right.
put some stuff in there,
All right, that's what we'll do. All right, here's our question. This is a good one, Rico.
Yeah.
Rico, how many brush-ups and brawls over your career?
Wow. We got about a half hour. Can we talk about? No, don't forget, I played in the era where they used to.
And by the way, jump in, boys,
Yeah,
anytime.
they threw at you. Period. If you know some guys, you've got a single off them. Next time you were going down. And the funny thing is, not funny. You know what the umpire would do? Go around and brush off the plate. There was no, throwing them out. We had brawls with the Yankees in the middle 70s, almost every single series.
I mean, you had a couple of big ones that you were involved with.
There was one in Anaheim was the best. The LA Times had the whole middle section of all the photos of all the. Here comes the bullpen, and we had Washington. We had a big one. With Anaheim. I mean, just a ton of them.
Did
Believe me,
you
a ton
ever-
of them, because of the beanballing situation?
Did you ever, were you ever the catalyst for one? You're at play, someone
No.
hits?
No.
So you never started one?
No, I never started one. I really didn't. I didn't get hit, so I said, or if I got
Did
hit,
anybody actually throw a punch?
Oh, you punch! Wow.
You see sports fights, and they don't seem to want to know how to fight.
No, they fight, but everybody gets around. There's so many guys that it's hard to get your.
All right, so real quickly, the Peppertone fight, what started that?
Yeah, beanballing.
Who hit who?
Phillotson hit Joe Foy on the head, on the head. And then Lomberg hit him in the back, and they were talking, and here comes both benches, here comes the bullpens. And somebody said something, so I kind of got a little angry, and I kind of charged. And here we go. It was a big and really in that one there wasn't anybody real hurt.
Oh,
But you can get
Pepitone
stepped on.
was hurt.
Nah, he couldn't. Well, his
He
wig
took his wig off.
Oh, his wig off. But I bought him a new one. But no, there was a lot of fights, because beanballing was just you played teams. I think 21 games each or something like that.
Can you imagine? Can you guys imagine
And
someone like
they would come right at you.
imagine someone like Gibson throwing at you?
He would do. What do you do? Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
listen.
amazing.
We have our other good friend here, Lee Behrens from Sterling Sports Auctions. Lee, how are you? I know you have. I'm glad we were able to squeeze you in because I know you have an auction coming up. And when does it close?
Closes Thursday the 22nd. Got to get your first bid in by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get an extended bidding.
So, what are some of the great items you got?
Well, we have this is kind of the headliner. It's always tough with the light. And 28 Cap Anson, which for some reason you don't see as many as them as the rest of the N28s. Got a few Jackie Robinson, 52 and 53.
Good cards.
Very nice presentation for the grades. Few Ty Cobbs, 27 exhibit, and the T205, which is always good stuff.
What's the grade on the T205?
The T205 is a 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very presentable. I mean, it's doing really well.
That was the first fake I ever bought.
No,
No, seriously, back in the 90s, I bought it on eBay. The card looked so great. I think I paid $400 or $500 for it. Great card. I thought it was going to, grade out at a 5, 6, 7. Sent it to PSA. Boom.
But
fake.
that might be a type of card where you would buy, say, a younger collector. Doesn't have the million.
Well,
Right?
the card. I mean, that card's an expensive card today.
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay.
It's an expensive card, but anyway. So anyway, I got my money back though. The
Yeah.
guy that I bought it from, he got hornswoggled also. What else you got, Lee?
Yeah, we got a complete set of 68 tops. We broke up a 1960 set because there was a nice share of graded cards within the set, and that always seems to maximize the dollar for the seller when you break it up when it's a good option for them. Got a couple different. I'd never seen one of these prior to getting it. The 1968 Topps plaques. Yeah, I've never seen one, but there must be very few of them out there because there wasn't much history in them.
We talk about. I was going to say we talk about auction houses like you got Derek here and you got yourself here, and there's everything in between, which is great because obviously Heritage has a niche for their consigners and their buyers. You have a niche for your consigners and your buyers. So it's really, you're spreading the wealth. I mean, you're really geared for that budget.
I got an itch.
No, but for the budget collector.
Yeah, no,
and it's fabulous, man. It's fabulous.
Well, there's a lot of people that have collections out there that don't fit into heritage what they would take in as a consignment.
Right.
And so they will come to me. I mean, I obviously get some really nice stuff at times where they just come to me because they prefer to deal with the smaller auction site and the one-on-one personal deal. Because I'm a one-man show, and you're always going to get me if you call or email or anything like that. And so I get many people. That's what they say they call because they like that personal touch to the.
I have 42 assistants at Heritage.
Exactly.
It's hard to get a hold of me.
Really. What is your website address, Lee?
It's sterlingsportsauctions.com. It's if you go into Google and just do Sterling Auctions, it generally comes right to the top there if you want to shorten it up a little bit. But we do a fair amount of advertising on different sites, so it can be found there.
And when does the auction close?
Thursday I need that initial bid in by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get into extended bidding. And then you can bid on any item in the auction. It's a little different from a lot of them that allow you only to bid on the items you bid on. But my auction is open to every lot. So if you got one bid in on any item, you get outbid and you got money to spend, go find another lot or two to go spend your money on.
Awesome. All right. We wish you the best and good luck with the auction.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Luck,
Lee Behrens
Thank you.
from Sterling
You guys.
Sports Auction. Jimmy, you have I went on your site. I mean, you guys have events all over the place. Why don't you talk to us about some of the events you guys have coming up off the top of your head, if you know them? You got so many of the damn things.
Well, that's good.
I know.
Yeah, no, we've become omnipresent. I mean, at any given week, we have about 8 different events all throughout the world. This week, I mean, for instance, we're going to be in Mississippi, Florida.
Wow.
Denver, Colorado, Michigan. You name it. And
What's in Mississippi?
Mississippi.
Is it a store visit?
It's a Comic-Con. Yeah, they have.
Really?
They have different voice actors that do Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, and it's become very, very popular with the younger collectors. They collect those Funko Pops, those signed Funkos.
Yeah.
They make it for everybody has any type of notoriety. And everybody gets them signed. And what's really cool about the voice actors and the Pokemon voice actors and stuff like that, they use different paint pens, so they'll use different colors to draw the character of whatever voice actor they are, and they make it very presentable looking. They don't just sign their name.
Nice.
They'll do like a quote. And they're very, very personable with the fans, and that goes a long way. When you get your autograph and you go to somebody you've admired forever, you at least want them to be nice to you. They don't have to say much, but there's nothing worse when you come up to somebody and they're a total jerk to you, and it completely crushes you to the point where there's a couple people that I admire, and I hope when I meet them that they're at least like cordial.
Nice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's Joe Rogan.
That's
I'd love
why
to
you're
meet.
so good.
That's all. That's what we look forward to in meeting the people that we idol.
Derek, what about you guys? I mean, you guys are all over the place too, man.
We're not like, I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody's in more places as JSA.
Yeah.
I've remembered it for the last 20 years. Even when I was at SGC, JSA is, I don't know how you find the bodies and train them to be authenticators. It is unbelievable how many shows. No, you do a lot of the in-person stuff too, right?
Yeah, we do.
Where you're in the
JSA
background.
Witness.
JSA Witness. And, they are really aggressive being out there. And it is not easy to we get asked to do shows all the time.
Sure.
People want heritage at their show. And we only have so much bandwidth and only so many employees that really want to go spend a weekend. People have other plans, and it's not easy. We have I probably do about 10 shows from, say Ohio and over. So Lee and I cover the East Coast. And then we have another, group that covers the other shows. But there's a lot of new ones popping up, and there's some good ones. It used to be the same shows over and over and over again.
Right.
Now you have new promoters. Everybody wants a piece of this, and shows are doing very well. So you're going to see a lot of people start some up in different areas. And we have to be very selective of what we do, because it is
Red Sox,
security
Actually,
risks.
You know something? Jimmy, were you at the Fenway show this year? Did you guys make it up here?
Which one? The one in Wilmington?
No. There's a new show that is really fabulous.
There's a new one at Fenway.
Right at Fenway Park. It's called the Fenway Card Show. A friend of ours, Chris Costa, runs it, and the Red Sox. You should really look into it for next year. It was absolutely packed, and it was right on the concourse, and people were allowed to go onto the warning track. Really cool setup.
Great
So
show.
next year, and Heritage is going to be there because we've already convinced them to be there.
That's great, because collectors, and I talked, because they're watching, and to get to know that this industry is a great industry, and it's widely
Absolutely.
And you're talking about Mississippi and all that stuff. That I think it's great. Where should they go to find out about these shows?
They can go onto our website,
Oh, you go to the website,
JSALOA.com.
Okay.
They can find us on social media. If you like us, it'll tell you exactly where we're going to be that's closest to you. I think that's probably the best bet.
Yeah.
But we right now we have like 180 events coming up for the rest of the year.
Oh my God!
When I went out to London, Derek, I saw a Heritage booth out there. In fact, you guys were like right behind us. I didn't recognize anybody there.
I know nobody over there. I've gotten emails where I see their faces, but I've never met. I shouldn't say that. I may have met somebody at a Heritage event somewhere over here in the States. But I mean, we do have. I should have thought about that. There, we are over there too. I'm not sure. What event were you at, Jimmy?
I was at the MCM. It was a Reed Pop Comic Con. So
we would have had a comic book display there.
Yeah, you guys had a comic book display, but it was the JSA booth, and then right behind it was Heritage.
So it makes sense, but I will tell you, there's no other authentication company that's even. Jimmy, you just said you're at 180 events. Is there anybody that's even at 80 events? I mean, you're a dog in the competition there. Like they are everywhere.
Hey, Jimmy, by the way, we're going to be broadcasting from the Burka stage at the National on Friday from 1 to 3. And Petrocelli has a Red Sox gig.
Don't believe him.
Well, but then you're too cheap to come.
No, I got a bad arm.
Yeah, Mallory, he'll be at Parts Unknown. So I have to split the guest hosting an hour each with Grady and with Orlando. It's going to be like getting a root canal. But anyway, with that being said,
with Joe, right?
With both of you.
There.
With that being said, Jimmy, we want to get
nice
you.
Guy.
Well, Joe's a great guy. Are you kidding? We want to get you up on stage with us. Do a little 10-minute segment. It's a 2-hour special show that we're going to be broadcasting.
Great shows.
We'd like to get you up there. John is going to be joining us soon. John Broggi. Obviously, this is John's last year. Deeply missed. He's going to be joining us on stage too. We may even give him a little something. Let's give him.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Give him one of your cards.
One of my books.
Give him a shirt. John.
I'd love to, guys. You just send me the location.
Yeah, we'll get you up there.
And I'll be there until I think Saturday night.
We're gonna be there Friday afternoon. Listen, Rico.
Yeah, let me do this.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about our good friend.
JR, you could take a nap, anybody. This thing is like a
just read the
15-minute
damn
long.
thing.
All right,
please.
Rico. If you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern and vintage cards, you got to check out JRI Cards. Our paisan Charlie, the Iron Ripper Perino, along with Money Marco, boy, this is a Dollar Girls and the JRI gang, give you the chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax or cello pack, or your favorite sport or non-sport. Really nice. Now this says who?
Just read the thing.
Who knows? You may wind up with a Mantle, Jordan, Gretzky, Brady, or even a Zappala. Tom, this says Tom.
That says Petrocelli, but go ahead.
Wait a minute. What does this say?
All right, good. You change it.
Tom.
Go ahead.
He's supposed to read this. Okay, it's easy. You buy in, Charlie opens the pack, and you get a packed fresh card. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JRI Cards will even have it graded for you on the house. Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, and USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card-pulling show on the internet. Charlie and his staff make it fun.
He is a whack.
They give you an offer you can't refuse.
No, he is a whack job.
Entertaining, believe me, and enjoyable. With this collection of hats, sound effects, and yes, you may even see him wearing a leather helmet from Rico's days playing for Newt Rockney. Who wrote that? You will love it. And let's not forget that JRI donates a part of their proceeds to various charities. So check out their charity break page. That's JRI. Look how mean. Check out their exclusive breaks and events that everyone is talking about. They're always digging up cardboard treasures. For a great hobby experience, go to jricards.com. Holy mackerel.
I know. Hey, Jimmy, before we let you go, we got a couple of minutes. A large bulk of your business is entertainment.
I'd say now 60%. If you asked me that question 5 years ago, it was 75, 80% sports. Now it's just with the amount of Comic-Cons that we're doing, it's reached to over the amount of sports autographs. We authenticate more of these Funko Pops than we do baseballs.
Really?
And if you ask, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
That's unbelievable is right.
It really is.
So what is the one in your career, what is the one Mona Lisa that sticks out that you had the honor and pleasure of authenticating, whether it be entertainment or sports? Is there one that sticks out? I mean, anything from like, I don't know, Shakespeare, anybody like that?
It's such a hard question. I authenticated for Joel Platt. I don't know if that name rings a bell. He's a very old-time collector.
Oh, is this the guy in California? Is this the guy in Florida?
This is a guy, Boca Raton. He's got supposedly one of the greatest autograph collections in the entire world. And he has Wilt Chamberlain's high school jersey that's signed. And that was just unbelievable. It was one of a kind.
Wow.
So that he had, Johnny Unitas signed game used jersey. He has, Jim Thorpe's uniform, from his playing days. I mean, just the list goes on. But yeah, that Wilt Chamberlain high school jersey was pretty incredible.
Absolutely fabulous. All right, what is your website, sir?
JSALOA.com.
Listen, you have to promise you're going to come back periodically.
I will. Invite me anytime. I love doing these things. You guys come up with a topic. I mean, we could talk for weeks.
We really could.
There's so much information, so many cool things that we've experienced. I've been with JSA for the past 15 years now, and every day is something new, and it's cool. It's enjoyable.
That's exactly why we're up against the clock, but that's exactly why we want to bring you in, because now it's going to give us an opportunity here in the Great American Collectibles Show to really expand what we want to talk about, and it's going to be awesome. With that being said, Jimmy, thanks so much for coming on board, Jim. And we'll see you down the road.
Take care, Jimmy.
Guys, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Take care.
All right,
we're going to take a quick break. We come back. The great man is coming, Mr. John Broggi from the National. Hang in there. We will be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petrocelli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petrocelli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petrocelli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petrocelli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrocellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petrocelli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Well, how does your company or organization do promotions? Imprinted products keep your brand, this is very important, your brand in front of your customers more than any other form of advertising. For the best on-time service and new ideas for your next project, give Petrocelli Marketing Group a call at
You got an 800
Free.
number now?
Of course. 264-4294 or email us. My son owns it, so I'm trying, he's got to take care of his old man, so give him some business. The email is mp@petrocellimkt.com.
Grady,
Thank you.
Don't be so cheap. Why don't you order some pens from them?
Pens?
Do pens?
He's got pens, he's got everything.
He does everything.
How about a nice pen order?
He's just kid.
Our pens have been starting to fail us at some of the trade shows. It's getting really annoying filling out agreements. And our pens are just give out halfway through and I'm tossing them.
See?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look into this.
Yeah, really.
Now, hold on a second. If he gets pens from you, can I get a few?
You can get a card. You'll get it with his logo on it. With
I don't
Heritage
care.
Logo.
I don't care whose logo.
Sure.
All right, let's bring in our good friend. Well, he's already here. Mr. Broggi, John Broggi, Executive Director of the
I'm
Network.
just enjoying all this banter back and forth. By the way, I heard you mention to Jimmy Spence that you wanted to know what the Mona Lisa of whatever they have authenticated. Is it true that you and Rico both dated Mona Lisa?
No, John, honestly, with all due respect, you and Rico are both a tad older than me. So to answer your question, Rico did. I dated her younger sister. That's all.
I actually looked up Rico the other day on Wikipedia, and he's got a birthday coming up next week.
Does.
Right, Rico?
Don't say anything.
June 27th?
Yeah, but I'm glad to have him because I'm still around.
Yeah,
but
you're alive.
I don't I don't want to celebrate anything. I just want to be quiet.
Grady and I have a
big
theory.
one.
Grady's always, after the age of 70, Grady has always said, as long as you're vertical, right, Derek?
Absolutely, I'm with him there. With him there. Yep.
So what the Mona Lisa is, though, was just discovered during the show. There is a baseball with Babe Ruth and Rico Petrocelli on it. I literally cannot believe I heard that story.
It's the truth. I thought you knew it. We thought you knew it.
I know.
How would I know that story? Where is that baseball? I want that baseball.
What happened was somebody sent us the image, and I was like flabbergasted, and it was authenticated by both PSA and JSA. And it's a beautiful, beautiful Babe Ruth signature.
Really clear. God.
And right on the reverse panel, Rico Petrocelli.
Rico. Like Gehrig.
Yeah.
Ruth and Gehrig, Ruth and Rico.
No, they ought to take it
same
off.
thing.
They should take it off there
Derek,
somehow. I don't know how you do it.
All kidding aside, and listen, you know what he means to us. Would they be better off taking that off?
No, I wouldn't. And Rico's a great guy, and people like him. I've never heard a negative word about Rico, so I think it's just a cool piece. But that being said, anytime you remove something from a baseball and the letter has that removal thing, here's the key. With a Rico on the other side, no different than if it was a regular common player from the 30s or 40s that played with Ruth. It displays as a single.
Right.
As long as it displays as a single, I wouldn't screw with the baseball.
And it definitely does. All right,
but
John.
it means more to somebody that knows Rico.
Absolutely.
That is a cool story.
Yeah, the guy's sick. But John,
tell us about the National.
Yeah, man.
Come on, there's a lot happening.
I can't make it this year. I'm so sorry.
You can't make it. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be crazy. I mean, we've talked in the past about the tickets being. Hang on one second. About tickets being available online. We're going to sell out of VIP tickets probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, well before the National starts. So if you're going to look for a VIP package, get it now. And with that said, on Wednesday of this week, we're going to make a big announcement that we have a VIP lounge sponsor. We've never had someone who wants to set up in the VIP lounge, which is a room off the show floor. And traditionally, we put just tables and chairs in there for VIPs to go on in, sit down, relax, get off the show floor for a little while. What this sponsor wants to do is put some activities in there. There's going to be a golf simulator. There's going to be food and beverage in there. They're going to have some guests and a lot of giveaways. And the company sponsoring this is going to make the announcement on Wednesday, and it's Ludex, which is a card scanning company. We're getting a lot of companies who are looking to take advantage of the scope of the National to begin to put their product out there to people who've never seen it before. So we're excited. TriStar's got one of their best autograph pavilions ever. We've got 630 dealer booths at the show, 360 different dealers, 60 corporate companies who will be doing their best to show off their goods. The National's the place to be. You guys know that. I'm sure all your listeners know that as well.
Hey, I'm going to ask Derek this question. Derek, as we all know, this is John's last year heading up to National. Your thoughts on John Broggi and the job that not just him, but his crew, including the late Mike, how they took it to a new level?
I mean, they've gone with the hobby. When the hobby wasn't growing, they still put on a hell of a show. And as it's been growing, I haven't heard, can there be some growing pains when you don't expect to get your doors kicked in with so many people coming through? But they've handled it all with grace, and we've had a tremendous relationship with John and Mike. With other than when John, I mean, I love the story of John trying to throw me out of the show. I mean, it was amazing.
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
I have to. But you know what? All was forgiven. It was great. He was doing his job, by the way, and he didn't know who I was. See, there are people that have no idea who I am. Everybody knows John Broggi, but at that point, I was still, rising up through the ranks. But no, honestly, they've done a tremendous job, and we can't thank the partnership we've had with John enough. And I think John probably feels we've done the national program. We have a great display there. There's one show we go all out at, and that's the National. Like John said, the place to be is the National. There's not another show that compares with it. There's been people that threaten to do it. John's probably heard the rumors where people want to compete with the National and people want to do this and do that. The National's been the mainstay in my life since like 1996 when I could start going to them. And, I've been at almost every one, whether it was grading with SGC or at Heritage, the last, or Mastro or Heritage. I've been at them, and they've been a true joy and to go to. And thank you, John, for all your effort that you've put in. I know, and your partner, Mike, who passed away, and he was unbelievable as well. So they've just done a tremendous job. And like I said, we love the partnership. We hope that still goes forward with the the new promoters, who I know, and I think it's been. This is John. This will probably be, John. Is this going to be the biggest crowd ever?
I would think so. The numbers we have are surpassing last year's numbers, and we're double what we were in 21 in Chicago right now. And you remember how big Chicago was. So
yeah, and it's such a great venue too. Yeah. And
we've taken the entire building this time. We're going to have the entire first ground floor. We've gotten to the point where we're going to have to stage people to walk into the show upstairs in Hall G at the on the second level. That's so amazing. It's craziness. It's craziness. So we appreciate Heritage as well. You guys they do a great job for us.
Great job.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, by the way, CSA shows, another smaller competition, but a very good show, is proud to present the Chantilly Show, being held from Friday, June 22nd, right through Sunday, June 24th, held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport. Celebrating over 27 years at the same location, there will be over 350 dealer tables exhibiting on over 100,000 square feet of space. With both vintage sports and memorabilia as well as modern-day sports treasures, you're not going to have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Some of your favorite superstars will be on hand, including 2023 NFL first-round draft pick C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. Also, Mean Joe Green, Randy Cunningham, Jerome the Bus Bettis, Walt Clyde Frazier, and many, many more. For more information, go to CSA shows.com, CSA.
John also introduced me, well, of course, we went, but to my first show.
That's right.
And I was like in awe, John. The industry, I said, wow, this isn't a little,
this is a big
incredible. It was great.
John,
I loved it.
We just talked about CSA. We talk about the Philly show. We talk about the Fenway show. but there's only one national.
Oh,
that's
I heard some of the numbers you just threw around. You threw around their 27th show. Well, this is the 43rd annual National Sports Collectors Event, and you said over a couple of 100,000 square feet. I added it up. They needed to know how many square feet we're taking this year in Rosemont. 587,000 square feet on the first level.
Wow.
And that doesn't include all the meeting rooms and all the other areas that we use during the show.
Well, the first thing
that's just show space.
The first thing that we did, Ellen and I, is I made my reservations for Gibson's on Friday night. It's the only thing I cared about.
Yeah, he's not paying, that's for sure.
I got my call from the general manager, Vince Locasio, the other day. He said, "You're set." I gave him the times and the number of people I need each night. We're all set as well.
See, Grady eats at Applebee's.
You're in trouble.
No.
Grady eats at Applebee's.
I literally go to Gibson's. Literally, if I'm there for 6 nights,
you go 6 nights.
I eat at Gibson's 5 nights. It is unbelievable. I love Gibson's. I mean,
it's awesome.
I'm a sucker for Gibson's.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time, John. We're going to talk to you at least 1 or 2 more times before the National. We'll get you on. Derek, you know what you mean to us.
Derek,
you have been,
Thank you.
You guys, your company.
And John, thanks again for all the great years, and hopefully you stay involved in the hobby to some aspect.
Oh, we're going to get, something. We're going to get him involved. He keeps saying no. But guess what? We're going to wind up doing something with John.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I've been here too long, right?
Yeah.
All right, we love you guys. And to our viewers and listeners, remember, please, we're on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page, our own Great American Collectibles Facebook page. Soon, another major announcement for another neutral platform. Share the show. Share it all over the world. Share it with the people in England and wherever. We're asking you. With that being said, we love you guys. Happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.